Stony Brook's team gets to make that call.
I got the call. I answered the phone.
He yelled up at me and said, "I've got my kidney."
And wow, is it amazing.
I jumped up and down. And I'm here to tell my story.
When I got that call, I yelled at my wife, and we both started to cry.
Hi, may I speak to Mr. Jones? Hi, Mr. Jones. This is Carrie from Stony Brook Kidney Transplant. How are you? Well, we have a kidney for you. No, I'm serious. Tonight. Yes. I know. Wait. I have to ask you a couple of questions. Are you feeling okay? Have you had any transfusions recently? Wonderful. Then I need you to come on into the 5th floor to admitting. We need you here within an hour and a half. Yeah, we'll be doing the surgery tonight. Yep. Well, good luck. Okay, I'll see you in the morning. All right, bye-bye.
And on a Monday night, I believe it was, we got a phone call, got the call. It was Carrie had called me, and she says, we have a kidney for you. And I says, what? You can't. It's too soon. It was just surprised me. I was shocked. And I says, it's not time yet. And she started laughing. She says, you want to wait? I said, no.
I was getting ready to go to quilting, actually, my quilting group. And he came upstairs and he says, you're not going to quilting. And I looked at him and he says, they have a kidney. And we both burst into tears.
It's great. It's always a great surprise for the patient. It's a great joy for both us and them that the day has finally arrived. It's sort of a magical moment. It's almost like if you develop a photograph in a dark room and the picture comes out of the pan and the solution. It's sort of a semi-miracle when a kidney becomes available for a patient.
When I was 17, just woke up, started throwing up. It was the day before exam, and I don't know, I just woke up, started throwing up. I was perfectly healthy, played soccer. You know, I don't know, I went to the hospital and they told me I had kidney failure. He was in Jamaica and I had to go see him and I saw the conditions he was in. It was just, I don't know, it was just bad. I was just thinking probably I'm gonna die because I was growing up in Jamaica at the time, third world country. We didn't have the resources like that to do transplants or anything like that. My mom is here, my brother is here, so I got a medical visa and I came up, and that's how it all started.
We see them when they first come here inquiring about a transplant to see if they're a candidate. So they meet me, they meet the entire transplant team, the coordinators, the social worker, our physician's assistant. They meet the entire team when they first come.
I speak to them on the phone initially, make the appointment, and then bring them in for the workshop, which is the initial evaluation. They met with the team, and then from that point we determine whether testing is necessary in order to ensure the safety of the transplant. Most of the patients need cardiac and vascular evaluations, and from that point on I'm able to activate them to the waiting list.
Unfortunately, some of these patients have been on the list for 3, 4, 5, even 10 years. It's heartbreaking to watch these patients wait and to see them year after year and watch some of them who unfortunately deteriorate in health status. And you become like friends, family, I don't know what the right term is.
Dialysis is therapy for kidney replacement in order to remove the toxins. That is a life-saving technique to treat kidney failure, but is very labor-intensive, can cause significant problems for patients as far as how they feel, their energy, and their quality of life.
I was doing it 4 times a day with the rack and the bags of fluid for exchanges. Then I went to a cycler machine, which was a real boon, because then I could plug myself in at night, and 9 hours later it was done.
You're running to the doctor a lot. You're going to doctors, you're on the phone with doctors. It takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of emotion, because you see that they're not doing as well as you would like them to do. But then when they get a transplant, it is just fabulous, because they're so much better. And they're on their own. You don't have to wait on them quite as much.
There's a lot of misconception when it comes to the transplant list. A lot of people think that you have to be on a lot of steroids and a lot of stuff, but if you think about it, it's a perfect trade, because I'd rather just take the pills every 12 hours than be in a chair with needles in my arm, for 4 hours out of every other day.
He went through a lot. That's something like nobody should ever go through.
I think donors who give a kidney really do a generous and heroic act. I don't know if there's enough recognition for what these people do, but there should be, because they're not only literally saving the life of another person, but in their own way they're relieving some burden on our healthcare system. They're really contributing not only to the individual patient, but to the system as a whole, because they're taking that patient off dialysis and actually saving money for the Medicare system, which of course is a federally run program. I think 1,000 transplants in any medical center is really a high watermark from the point of view of, the effort that's gone into the program, from the point of view of the number of cases performed, from the point of view of being an indicator of the expertise that's been built into the program, and also the confidence of a given patient population in going to a center to receive their kidney transplant. Remember, with insurance today, an individual could go to any transplant center essentially in the United States and have a kidney transplant. So the fact that our center has done this number of transplants is really also a vote of confidence in the overall team.
When we have a patient who needs a transplant and they have a living donor, then I will do the donor surgery and Dr. Walter will do the transplant. And we do that surgery simultaneously.
But it's not only about the doctors. Of course, the doctors have to do the surgery and take care of the patients. It's about the overall team. You really need a team to deliver the kind of care and have the kind of coordination that you need to run a transplant program. It's really not about one individual person.
The team that we have is an exceptional team. The players here are so dedicated and so empathetic and so professional that they create an environment where our patients feel like they're part of our family. And the team does that from all aspects, whether it be our social worker, our financial counselor, our living donor coordinator, our pre-transplant coordinators that we have. They all take that kind of an attitude. And when you talk to our patients, that's what you get.
I get very emotional about this because they were so great. I mean, all the nurses, everybody was just so fabulous to us that, and they're so kind. I can't express how really fabulous they were. Not just to Sal, but to me too.
I wrote a letter to the team that did the transplant team, thanking them for what they did. There's no way to thank them, except to say, I'll try my best to stay healthy.
At 17, I was carefree, At 22, when you get a second chance, you really cherish every moment you have.
Stony Brook Hospital is just great. It's one of the best hospitals. And they just had a really good team and how he was treated and how the hospital conditions were. It was all around good.
I haven't felt this good probably for 15 years.
He means the world to me. And this has been just wonderful. It just gave us a whole new way of living.
At least a third of the living donors are not blood relatives. It can be a spouse, it can be a friend, it can be a distant relative, it could be even an altruistic donor who wants to give a kidney to somebody. The youngest patient that we ever transplanted here was a 14-month-old.
If anybody gets a chance, if you've got somebody, sign your donor card.
Donate, donate, donate.